What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka New York Prepper. I want to show you something that I'm working on and something that I do regularly. And what I do here is I process down some fat wood into fine shavings. Okay, if you see here, I have this nice pile of these fine shavings. All right, and these shavings here, all right, we'll take a spark from a ferro rod very, very easily, okay? Look at that. Look at how fine these shavings are. And, you know, if you guys don't know what fat wood is it's a resinous wood, okay? It comes from the heartwood of pine trees, all right? The heartwood is the center of a tree. And you can find these fat wood in... You can find it yourself, but you can just go to a hardware store and buy a whole bag of these for $10. You know, you can get like a 5-pound bag for like 10 or 15 bucks. And it's an excellent fire starter. You know, you can use this, you can burn the whole stick with a lighter, which I've actually done right here. You know, you can take a lighter and hold it to the edge of the stick and literally light this whole thing on fire and use it as a fire starter, and then you can burn it out, or you can blow it out like a candle and then relight it again, all right, because it's loaded with resin. If you guys can see over here, this stick, this is wood, you know, and it's loaded with resin, so that resin, you know, helps it burn a lot hotter, and it maintains, you know, it burns hotter, and it doesn't burn out like a stick, you know, it burns longer. So it's like a candle almost. So you can use this as a candle. And what you can also do is you can shave off shavings from it with your knife if you're in a survival situation, or if you're in the woods, you know, and you're camping out, or you have to spend the night in the woods. Let's say you were hunting and you stayed out too late in the woods, and, you know, it's getting dark and you have to make a fire. You have to wait until sunrise to get back to your car. You know, this fat wood could save your life. You know, it's waterproof. All right, so you know, this is, no matter what conditions, this could be totally wet, and, you know, it's still going to burn, you know, because it has that resin in there, and that resin is basically you know, flammable. So you could see this brown resin, this thick resin inside of the wood. All right, so it's waterproof. It can work as a candle. You can use the shavings for tinder, okay? You can use it for kindling. It's waterproof. You know, this is an excellent fire starter. I think it's actually my favorite fire starter, and I always keep a few of these pieces in every one of my backpacks, whether it's my hunting pack, my hiking pack, or my bug out bag. I carry at least 3 pieces of these, okay? And even just one piece, sorry, I dropped it. Even just one piece like this, you know, you can start 100 or 1,000 fires. If you know what you're doing, you know, you can start 1,000 fires just with one stick like this, all right, by shaving off small amounts and getting tinder from this. You know, you can start 1,000 fires with just one of these sticks. You know, you can really make it last. And you know, like I said, you can burn the edge like with a lighter. If you're in a extreme emergency and you need to get a fire going, you can take your lighter and just hold the lighter to the edge of the stick, and it'll just light like a candle. Then you can, you know, blow it out, reuse it again. It's really good. And so what I'm doing here is I'm processing this fat wood down into fine shavings, okay? So this way I don't have to do it when I'm in a stressful situation, all right? So what I do is I process these down at home, and then I put the shavings inside of this UCO stormproof match case, all right, which any of you guys have been prepping or into survival for a while and prepping, you know, these UCO stormproof matches are great. I always keep them in my bug out bag, in my hunting pack, my hiking packs. I always keep one of these with some stormproof matches in them, but you can actually buy this match case, you know, for like $2 on Amazon or eBay. And I have a bunch of these, and what I do is I fill these with different types of tinder. I have, the Tinder quick tabs, the cotton Tinder quick tabs in here. I have cotton balls in them. I have magnesium shavings in one of these. I have wet fire Tinder cubes in them. All right, so I have a few of these, and I keep them in my fire kit, in my Tinder kit, which I'm going to do a video on that and show you guys my Tinder kit and my fire starting kit on my bug out bag and on my hunting pack, so you guys can see what I carry when I go into the backcountry. And I'm going to be releasing that video sometime in the next few days. So stay with my channel, and I'll be doing a lot more videos on my fire kit. But so what I'm doing is I'm just processing down this fat wood into these fine shavings, okay, and filling up my my waterproof, UCO match case. These are waterproof. It has a little gasket here. All right. And guys, a little pinch of this tinder between your fingers is all you need to get a fire going. You take a little pinch like this, you get your ferro rod and you strike your ferro rod on this little amount, and then you get some other small pieces of tinder, like small sticks or grasses or birch bark, or other types of tinder, and you can get your fire going. So the way I process this down is I have my knife here, and all I do is I take the knife and I hold the knife at a 90-degree angle, all right, to the fat wood. So I'm not trying to shave off big pieces. I'm not trying to like create a feather stick with this. All right, so like when you're feather sticking, you're holding the knife at a steeper angle. Let's see if I can do it with this piece here. You're holding the knife at a steeper angle and you're trying to carve, big chunks off like this, you're trying to carve bigger chunks, okay? And you can also fill a separate container with bigger chunks like this if you like. You can have both. You can have a container with finer shavings like this, all right, finer fat wood shavings. And then you can also have another container filled with larger shavings, okay, larger shavings that you create by holding the knife at a steeper angle. If you look at how I'm holding the knife, you can see I'm creating larger shavings here, okay? You can see these large pieces coming off of my fat wood stick here, okay? And these are good to do also. Okay, what you can do with these is you can, once you get the fire going with these fine shavings, all right, then you can throw the larger pieces on, and those larger pieces will burn a little bit longer, and then you could put your larger tinder or smaller kindling on top, so you start with this. This is what's going to take the spark, these fine shavings here, okay? And you don't need much, you just need a little pinch like this. This is what's going to take the spark from your ferrocerium rod. Once that burns, you're going to have a couple of seconds to put something bigger on top, all right, because this is going to burn out quick. And if you have these larger shavings here, like you see here, all right, then you can throw some of these on top of this once this starts to burn. And then from there, you can put your small sticks and, any other types of tinder you have that would burn a little bit longer. All right, so in order to create this tinder, it's a little different than when you create the larger one. So with the larger shavings, you're going to hold the knife at maybe a 45 or 60-degree angle, as you see here. All right, my knife is probably, I don't know, it's going to be roughly like a 35-degree angle, okay? I'm holding the knife like this, if you can see, all right, roughly that type of an angle, all right? And I'm very gently just shaving off, larger pieces, okay? All right, as you can see. All right, so you can do both if you like. You don't have to do both, okay? But it's good to do both. I do both as well. So I have one container. I have one container with the larger chunks, and then I have one container with the dust, okay, the finer shavings. It's good to have both, all right? Because really, if you're in a survival situation, and the weather's bad, you're cold, you're hungry, you know, you're not going to want to be sitting outside and trying to, you know, shave off, you know, fine shavings from a piece of fat wood, you know, when your hands are cold, when it's cold outside, you know, when you're dehydrated, when you're hungry, when you're, you know, it's dark outside. So you want to do this at home, you know, so you don't have to do it in the field, all right? So you want to give yourself every advantage that you can. You know, I'm not one of those guys that wants to go into the woods and make my life harder in a stressful situation. I want my life to be easier. And so that's why I do these things at home. So when I'm in a survival situation, you know, it's easier for me. You know, I don't have to really be stressed out, you know, and I recommend you guys do the same. So to do the big chunks, you hold it at an angle, like I said. Now, if you want to do the smaller chunks, the fine shavings here, what you do is you just hold your knife at a 90-degree angle, okay, just like so, perpendicular. So if this is your fat wood stick, you're holding the knife 90 degrees. If you see how I'm holding it, it's not angled in any direction. All right, it's not angled this way, it's not angled that way, it's totally 90 degrees. All right, and holding it 90 degrees, and you want to pick for the finer shavings, okay, you want to pick a good piece of fat wood that has a lot of resin, okay, because the resin is what's going to help it catch the spark easier, and it's going to keep that tinder waterproof, you know. So you want to keep, because, you know, fat wood comes in different varieties. So there's like, typically there's like 2 grades of fat wood. You have your more resinous fat wood, like this piece here, where you can see it has a lot of resin. You see those brown chunks in there? Okay, it's heavily impregnated with resin. All right, this is the type of fat wood that it doesn't do well for larger shavings like this because it has so much resin in there. It's like probably 50% resin and 50% wood. All right. Then you have another grade of fat wood, which is more probably like 60 to 70% wood. It looks more like normal wood. All right. But it has a very faint smell of pine. Okay. And this one is also has, you know, resin inside of it. It's just not as heavily impregnated. So if you look at these two side by side, all right, you can see the more heavily impregnated one up here, and then you have the less impregnated one here. All right, this one is better for shavings, larger shavings like this. All right, it's much easier to work with for larger shavings. This one is better for fine shavings and for fine tinder, and it will take a spark better than this one will. All right, because the one that's more impregnated with the resin is going to be more waterproof, more resistant to moisture, and this one is going to be less resistant to moisture to a certain degree. So you want to get yourself a good piece of fat wood that's heavily impregnated with resin. You're going to hold it at a 90-degree angle. All right, the knife is going to be 90 degrees, just like so, to the fat wood. Okay. And you're going to put gentle pressure. You know, you're not going to go too hard. You're going to put gentle pressure, and you're just going to be just working in a quick motion, just like this. Okay. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. You shouldn't feel the knife really like digging into the wood. You know, you should almost feel like you're sanding the wood with your knife. You know, you're kind of sanding off very fine amounts of wood from the fat wood. Okay. You know, you shouldn't feel like it's like you're, you know, slicing off any big chunks of wood, you know. All right. So you do this for a while, and you have to be patient. You know, it takes time, but it's very relaxing. I enjoy doing it. Maybe listen to the radio while you're doing it, or watch your favorite YouTube channel. In fact, you can watch some of my YouTube videos while you're doing this. You can check out some of my playlists and catch up on a lot of my videos. I have a lot of good videos on fire starting. If you check out my playlist, Firecraft, I have all my fire starting videos in there. I have a lot of different videos on firearms and SHTF. So you can watch my videos while you're doing this, or you can check out some other channels. I recommend the NYPrepper. I recommend Full Spectrum Survival, Canadian Prepper. All right, Oregon Preparedness. Those are some good channels as well. You can watch those while you're doing this, okay? And so you're going to do this for a while, okay? And then when you're done, you know, you're just going to transfer your pile into your waterproof container, and you're going to keep this in your hiking pack, your bug out bag, your hunting pack. You know, keep it in a place where you can find it quickly. I like to keep my fire kit on the outside of my pack, my tinder sources and my fire starting. I like to keep it in a pouch on the outside of my backpack so I don't have to dig through stuff inside of my backpack to get to it if I need to get to it quickly. But, you know, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, so I just wanted to share this with you guys, and, you know, thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and there'll be a lot more videos on fire starting coming soon, as well as shooting, survival, hunting, all kinds of stuff prepping related. So stay tuned, guys. I got a lot of good content in store for you, and as always, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's: prepare, practice, and persevere.